Hello, Deborah. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Ahmed. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. First of all, let me thank you so much for volunteering your time to participate in this interview. And in fact, your willingness to share your insights and experiences is truly appreciated by the whole staff of Prepare Planes. So, and I would like to start this interview by asking, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your involvement with paper airplanes?
Yes, well, to give you a little bit of insight into me, I've always been quite passionate about teaching. From the first role that I had um, many years ago, was actually as a road safety officer. So as part of that, I taught young people to ride bicycles, teenagers to ride motorcycles. I worked with very young infants, teaching them how to cross the road, and just got so much from enabling younger people to develop and progress. And I thought I wanted to be sort of a traditional teacher, but it just didn't work out that way for me, unfortunately. But I did then move into, after road safety, I moved into the careers service.
Mhm.
And in the UK, we have sort of different designations within that service. And my speciality was young people with special needs, and was just so inspired by the potential that these young people had. And from there, ended up moving on and setting up a charity where I was actually chief exec for over 25 years, enabling people with the most significant learning disabilities and other disabilities to succeed in paid employment. And one of the keys to that was using something called systematic instruction, which again, it's about teaching and enabling. Alongside that, I taught in university with young people on a Bachelor of Arts degree, well, young and older people. But always I've been attracted to people who have been disadvantaged. And then when because I'm now 62, almost 63, and came to sort of the end of my time working in a paid capacity, but still wanted to do more. And so looked at qualifying to be a teacher of English as a foreign language, and found paper airplanes needed volunteers. And it's just been a marriage made in heaven. That's probably 5, 6 years ago. And I've had the huge privilege of working with some amazing students, again facing so many sort of hurdles and barriers in their lives. And it's just been wonderful to see their confidence grow, to see how they've developed, and also being backed by such a first-rate organisation. I've only ever worked in organisations where my values are attuned with theirs, and it has with Paper Airplane. There's a discipline there, there's an expectation, the quality's there, it's consistent, there's no bending the rules for this person or that person. And at the end of the day, we're all pulling in the same direction. So that's me and Paper Airplane.
Wow. Wow, it's a really fantastic story, and you have an amazing journey during your life. And we are lucky that we have you in our family. We,
It's me that's blessed.
yeah. So, yeah, Deborah, let me ask you another question. So, what impact did paper airplanes have on your life?
It's had an amazing impact in that I really feel I'm in a different chapter of my life now. And Paper Airplanes has opened up my mind so much, and really to think there's so little I know. The not only does Paper Airplane or had Paper Airplane given me backing in terms of structure and guidance for the actual lessons, it's that insight into different cultures. The training about, for example, the situation in Syria. I had no idea how complex that was until I had access to the wonderful insights that I got through Paper Airplane, and then the privilege of meeting people who had lived through that conflict and other conflicts. And so it has had and continues to have a huge impact, because every student that I meet just enhances sort of my understanding of the world, and the difference. Yes, it is a small world, but it's a huge world in terms of advantage and privilege and prejudice, and just sheer loveliness of people.
Wow. So do you mean that, as always, I tell my students when I start teaching my speaking classes, I'm here not only as an instructor, I'm a learner. So I would like to learn. I would like to hear from you.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be like the person who gives the instruction, or no. I need to learn about you. So this is the way that I learned from Prepare Planes. It was amazing. So thank you so much for that. And can you share with us any memory or anything you learned from Prepare Plane in the program? Like anything?
Sorry, go on.
Mhm.
I mean, there are so many things from I've learned from the different students, and so many things have made me smile. And we just last year, my student and I had a really sort of funny experience. We were doing the module where you have a fairy story, and they are quite similar across the world, but I have a very odd sort of favorite story, and it's called The Old Lady Who Lived in a Vinegar Bottle. Well,
Mhm.
you can just imagine how that translates. And it was just you really serious? There is a story about a lady in a vinegar bottle. And, it was just that the fun that we had, rather than say, yes, the English language is a bit odd and we do have, things like this, we had a real example. But that, I mean, that's just a sort of an everyday occurrence in one of the lessons. But again, another lovely thing that happened, one of my students a couple of years ago, he had quite a large family. He actually had 7 children, and the youngest was only a couple of weeks old when he joined the program, and the next one was 3 years old. We
Wow.
were doing the lesson, and I said, did I hear something in the background? And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. He said, it's one of my children. And this little one was answering the questions. A 3-year-old,
Wow.
and was there sort of picking up as well
Mm.
as her dad, and it was just fun. I thought, bring her on screen, let's sort of include her in the lesson, because I mean, as tutors, we've got to realize that often our students have not got a nice office they can go to and have the lesson.
Mm.
Actually, they were living in 2 rooms, and it was a case of we work like this or we don't work at all.
Mm.
um but yeah, it was there's just so many memories
Yeah.
like that, and again, just now and again something will just pop up on WhatsApp to say, do you remember me? And and I can always say, of course I remember you, you were da 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 da, and how are you and things. So it's just lovely to hear from people now and again too.
Yeah. So you mean that you are still in touch with your students from
Mm.
that time until now. So that's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Uh, do you have any final thoughts, like for other individuals considering joining paper airplanes?
I would definitely say that if you've got any inclination at all about wanting to enable people to progress in their education, people who've been hugely disadvantaged through circumstances completely out of their control, but who are still motivated to actually progress and work through those issues, then there isn't a better sort of framework and structure, I don't believe, that a tutor would find than Paper Airplane. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's very transparent. You know who all the people are. The expectations are made extremely clear, and the support is absolutely first rate. The curriculum materials are there. The tutor coordinator, I mean, this year, Sarah has just been an absolute dream. And again, very sort of straight with the tutors. These are the expectations. But you know, you work towards them. But any issues, take them, and together we'll sort them out. So anyone thinking of joining Paper Airplanes, you are supported. You are encouraged. There are expectations and there are standards. And at the end of the day, the student has to be your motivation. And I would go as far as to say, I promise you won't be disappointed.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for your kind words, and it's really appreciated by us. Did you have any questions or any other concerns would you like to discuss?
No, just to really, I guess, formally say a huge thank you to Paper Airplane. I know you're a small team. I know you work incredibly hard, and what you're achieving is really life-changing for so many people. So a huge thank you from the heart.
Okay.